Most business owners think growth means doing more. More outreach, more offers, more hustle. But here's the truth. The fastest way to 10x your client base in the next 90 days isn't doing more. It's doing less with ruthless focus. When you pick one niche, one clear offer, and one strategic lever, everything changes. Suddenly your message cuts through the noise. You stop being just another operator with a day rate and start becoming the trusted partner in your space. So if you've been spreading yourself thin, trying to grow 2x, then today I'm going to share how you grow 10x by focusing on just one thing. After working with dozens of video business owners who scaled from inconsistent income to consistent 6- and 7-figure businesses, I've watched a pattern emerge. The ones who break through aren't necessarily the most talented shooters or the hardest workers. They're the ones who made a single strategic decision that changed everything. They stopped trying to be everything to everyone. Today we're breaking down exactly how to identify your one lever, the single focus area that will deliver exponential growth in your video business. We'll look at some real examples from business owners who've done this, the exact framework you need to apply it, and the common mistakes that keep people stuck in the 2x mindset when 10x is available to them. Here's what most video business owners do when they want to grow. They add more services. They chase every lead. They say yes to projects that don't necessarily fit. They're operating with a scarcity mindset that says, I need to take everything that comes my way. The result? You're busy but broke. You're working 60+ hour weeks, but your revenue hasn't moved. You've got a roster of 15 to 20 clients, but half of them are a pain to work with and none of them are paying you what you're worth. This is the 2x trap. You're trying to double your efforts to double your results. More posts on social media, more networking events, more proposals sent out. But here's what nobody tells you. That's not how exponential growth works. Let me share a story. One of the business owners I work with spent 3 years doing exactly this, taking on weddings, corporate work, and real estate videos. Whatever came through the door. He was turning over decent money, about 200K a year, but he was exhausted. His profit margins were terrible because every job required different gear, different workflows, different client expectations. Then he made one decision. He stopped doing everything and focused on one thing, supporting healthcare teams when their internal capacity maxed out. Within 90 days of making that shift, his pipeline completely transformed. Not because he was working harder, but because his message finally landed with clarity. So what's the difference between 2x thinking and 10x thinking? Well, 2x thinking says, I need to work twice as hard to get twice the results. Whereas 10x thinking says, what's the one thing I could focus on that would make everything else irrelevant? Now, this is a concept from Dan Sullivan's book, 10x is easier than 2x, and it's completely counterintuitive. Most people think that 10x growth requires 10x the effort, but actually it requires simplification and focus. When you try to grow 2x, you're adding more complexity, more clients, more services, more marketing channels, more systems to manage. You're spreading yourself thinner across more things. When you go for 10x, you're actually subtracting. You're asking, what's the one niche, one offer, one marketing channel that could transform everything? And then you go all in on that. Here's a real example. Another business owner I work with was stuck at around 400,000 a year. Great business, solid team, but hitting a ceiling. When we looked at his client roster, about 20 active relationships were in play. Then we asked a simple question. What if you had 100 clients instead of 20? His immediate response was, well, I don't have time for 100 clients. But that is 2x thinking. The real question isn't about time, it's about focus. If you had 100 clients in your pipeline, statistically, you'd always be busy. You'd never have a lean quarter. Your business would have predictable, consistent revenue. So how do you get from 20 clients to 100 clients? Well, the good news is not by working harder. You become laser focused on one specific market and show up consistently in front of them. So how do you identify your one lever? Well, here's the framework. Step 1, audit your existing clients. Look at the last 12 months and just on a base level, who were your favorite clients to work with? Not just the ones who paid the most, but who valued your work, respected your process, paid on time, and wanted ongoing relationships. Now look at what they have in common. Are they in the same industry? Do they have similar challenges? Are they at similar stages of growth? This is your niche signal. Your best clients are telling you where to focus. Step 2, define your signature offer. Once you know your niche, you need to get clear on the transformation you deliver. This isn't simply about listing your services, it's about articulating the outcome your clients care about. One business owner went from "we do event coverage" to "we help sports sponsors activate their partnerships and prove ROI." Same work, completely different positioning. And suddenly, he's not competing on day rates anymore, he's charging for outcomes. Step 3, choose one marketing channel to begin with. Here's where most people mess this up. They try to be everywhere: LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, email, networking, events, paid ads, all at once. Pick one channel where your ideal clients actually are and commit to showing up there consistently for 90 days minimum. Not sporadically, not when you feel like it, every single week. For most B2B video businesses, LinkedIn is the obvious choice. For wedding filmmakers, it might be Instagram. For sports content creators, it could be direct outreach to sponsors. The channel matters less than the consistency, but you have to pick one and you have to commit. Step 4, set a volume goal. This is the game changer. If you currently have 20 clients, your goal is to connect with 80 new potential clients in the next 90 days. That's about one new meaningful connection per day. Notice I didn't say win 80 new clients. I said connect with them, have a conversation, get on their radar, provide value, build a relationship. If you do that consistently for 90 days, you'll have a pipeline that transforms your business. Because out of those 80 conversions, statistically, you'll close 10 to 15. And suddenly, you're not scrambling for work. You're choosing which opportunities to take. Let me share what this looks like in practice. One business owner focused exclusively on logistics and facilities. He built a LinkedIn presence, connected with marketing managers, and showed up every week with helpful content about how internal teams can handle bigger projects with external support. Within 6 months, he went from $2,000 in the bank to consistent $50K plus months. Not because he got lucky, but because he picked one thing and stayed consistent. Another example, a business owner who spent years chasing day rates in sports broadcasting, cricket, AFL, tennis, wherever the work was. When one of his big contracts dried up, he could have panicked. Instead, he repositioned. He stopped selling himself as just a camera operator and started positioning as the production partner for sports sponsors who need content to activate their partnerships. Same skills, different positioning, higher fees, more control. Or take the business owner doing weddings and corporate work simultaneously. Solid income, but exhausting. 2 completely different sets of clients, 2 different workflows, 2 different marketing strategies. He made a decision to go all in on the corporate side, specifically targeting schools. Within 90 days, he had more leads from schools than he'd had the previous year from all sources combined. What changed? His message, his focus, his consistency. You see, when you're trying to serve everyone, your message is diluted. When you pick one thing, your message cuts through. People know exactly what you do and who you serve. And when they need that thing, you're the obvious choice. So what stops people from picking one thing? If this is so effective, why doesn't everyone do it? Well, it's FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. You're worried that if you niche down, you'll turn away work. And you know what? Yeah, you probably will. But here's what actually happens. You turn away the wrong work, so you have space for the right work. The work that pays better, feels better, and leads to more of itself. Maybe it's a lack of conviction. You don't fully believe you're good enough or experienced enough to charge premium prices. So you keep your options open. You keep your prices low and you stay in the hustle. But conviction comes from focus. The more you specialize, the more confident you become. Maybe you're just impatient. You want results now. You try the focused approach for a couple of weeks, you don't see immediate returns, and you go back to chasing everything. But this is a 90-day play, minimum. Probably 6 months to really see exponential growth. You have to be willing to play the long game. It's an identity shift, and this is the big one. You've spent years building an identity as the person who could do anything and the one who's going to show up. But letting go of that and becoming the person who does the one thing exceptionally well, it feels uncomfortable. But that discomfort is where the growth really happens. I've watched business owners wrestle with this decision for months. They know they need to focus, they can see the logic, but they can't pull the trigger because it feels too risky. And then when they finally do it, when they finally commit to one niche, one offer, one channel, they look back 3 months later and say, why didn't I do this sooner? So here's your 90-day challenge. Here's what I want you to do next. Take the next 10 minutes and write down 3 things. 1, your niche. Who are the clients who you do your best work for? Who values what you do? Who's willing to pay for outcomes, not just outputs? 2, your offer. What's the transformation you deliver? What problem do you solve that they care deeply about? And 3, your volume goal. If you want to 10x your current client base, what does that actually look like in numbers? Write it down. How many new conversations do you need to have in the next 90 days? Then commit. Pick one marketing channel and show up there every single week for 90 days. No exceptions, no excuses. Post content, reach out, start conversations, build relationships, and most importantly, track your progress. Use a simple CRM or a spreadsheet. Every new connection goes in there, every conversation, every opportunity. My clients, they use Synops, our marketing engine. Because what gets measured gets managed. And here's the beautiful part. This actually isn't complicated. It's really simple. But simple doesn't mean easy. Don't get the two confused. It requires discipline. It requires focus. It requires saying no to good opportunities so you can say yes to great ones. The fastest way to grow your video business isn't by doing more. It's picking one thing and going all in. One niche, one offer, one channel, and 90 days of ruthless consistency. Do that, and I promise your business will look completely different 3 months from now. So which of these will be hardest for you? Picking the niche, building the conviction, staying consistent? Because the businesses that break through aren't the ones with the most talent. They're the ones with the most focus.